6:30. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. Next 10 minutes we'll take time and go over what the weather's going to be doing over the next 7 days. We really don't see a whole lot of change as far as any rain in the forecast, but we do see some warmer temperatures on the way, that's for sure, as we head towards your weekend and into early parts of next week. Let's take a look at what you can expect the rest of this afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 70s. We might see a few places touch 80 degrees for later on this afternoon. That's a far cry from the 50s that we had earlier in the week on Monday. As we head towards this evening, still temperatures into the 70s as we head towards 6 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock we'll see numbers back down into the lower 60s. So it should be a really nice evening if you're out walking the dog, maybe doing a little walking just for exercise. Should be pretty comfortable this evening with those temperatures right around about 70 degrees towards the middle part of the evening. Allergy report, we're looking at low on grass and mold again today and medium on tree and weed. So it's about where we were yesterday. If you're sniffing and sneezing a little bit, maybe the tree and weed category is what's bugging you out there as we go through this afternoon. Outside, we have partly cloudy to some places almost look mostly cloudy. First, we'll start over towards Louisiana. Lake Charles, over towards southwest Louisiana on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. And you can see just partly cloudy skies over there. Lots of sunshine still as we look down towards the port of Lake Charles and then farther back to the city of Lake Charles. We'll head up into Jasper, this Jasper County Courthouse. This camera brought to you by Provalis. It's actually on the Provalis building, which is right across the street from the Jasper County Courthouse. And we've got partly cloudy skies as well. And a bird, whoa, and a bird out there in Jasper on the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Boy, that zoomed real quick and real fast. Yeah, not much going on Jasper except for some temperatures starting to warm up. We're looking at temperatures already in the middle 70s and heading up towards the upper 70s for later on this afternoon. We'll take a look at a couple more cameras before we get on to some temperatures and things like that. Here's the look over towards Port Arthur. Actually, a little bit more in the way of some clearer skies as you head down towards Port Arthur. This camera provided by Market Basket. And you can see the intercoastal there to your right. Usually you see a couple of big ships going up and down the intercoastal, but not right now. And as we look down towards some of the buildings at Lamar State University down there, looking at some quiet conditions out there for this afternoon. Like I said, at least we have mostly sunny skies, I would call it, in Port Arthur as opposed to the partly cloudy skies that we saw up towards the Jasper area. All right, we're going to switch our camera again. I think we're going to take a look here in Beaumont and actually Orange first. First we'll go over to the Horseman's Western Store as we look off towards the west, and it looks like I-10's going along pretty smoothly there through Orange, even though you do have some construction there. Looks like no problems. Currently showing 76 degrees in Orange, humidity right around 60%, so it is starting to get a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere out there, and we're seeing a little bit of a northwesterly wind right now at about 4 to 6 miles an hour, expecting across most of the area that we'll see winds a little bit more out of the southeast for today, anywhere between about 5 and 10. But you can definitely see some partly cloudy skies there showing up at the Horseman's Western Store, which is actually just off to your left of your screen there. And then we'll look down towards Beaumont here. This is Packard-LaPrée, and we're looking at the Port of Beaumont for this morning. And we got partly to mostly cloudy skies there. Currently 76, humidity at 55%, so not too bad. And we're seeing a little bit of a south wind between about 5 and 10 miles per hour down towards the Port of Beaumont or Packard-LaPrée, which is generally into downtown Beaumont. Let's see if we can get one more camera in here, and that's probably going to be the one right here at our 12 News studio. I'm interested to see if we're going to see a little bit more sun or a little bit more cloud cover here in parts of central Beaumont. We'll wait for this camera to turn. It'll be just a second here. And there we go. Yeah, it looks like a little bit more in the way of some partly to mostly cloudy skies right here at our 12 News studio. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. And once again, heading out for lunch. Looks like the traffic going along pretty smoothly on I-10 for this afternoon or this morning as you head towards the lunch hour. Temperatures already getting close to 80 in Port Arthur at 79. We're looking at 75 in Beaumont, 76 in Orange. Also Kirbyville, Silsbee's at about 76. Woodville's at 78, and Jasper currently at about 75. Head to our west, Huntsville 75, Conroe 76, and Houston 78. Lake Charles about 77, while DeQuincy's about 76 degrees. Very quiet out there as far as satellite and radar. Radar, there's nothing. We're looking at a complete dry forecast out there for this afternoon. No rain from Georgia back over to New Mexico. We do see some cloud cover. You can see it right in here on our satellite. Then we have a little batch of some high clouds, a little weak disturbance moving by northern parts of Louisiana, southern Arkansas for this morning. That's not even kicking up any rain. It's very weak, a little disturbance there. Looks like we're going to stay high and dry until we get into maybe early next week, and then we have a weak disturbance coming through. It's the same disturbance we thought would come through maybe late Saturday into Sunday. Then yesterday that got pushed back to Monday. And now today, as I'll show you the 7-day forecast in a little bit, it looks like it's being pushed back to Tuesday now on our computer models. And it's even weaker than we thought a couple of days ago. So a couple of days ago, we thought we had a good chance for some measurable rainfall. At this point, it looks like we're just hoping for at least a few showers to pop up. Let's take a look around the rest of the country. And the midsections of the country, very quiet after that cold front come through. Over the weekend, you can see things cleared out really nicely. They had some lake effect snows yesterday up towards places like Chicago, up into parts of northern Michigan. And right now, it looks like maybe some more lake effect stuff over towards parts of upstate New York there. Some precipitation coming off the Finger Lakes up there. And up into parts of New England, maybe a little bit of precipitation here or there. Southeastern U.S. looks good. Florida looks good. Of course, Texas, as we showed you, looked good. And a lot of cloud cover over parts of the western U.S. Not a lot of precipitation here. There are some showers and maybe a few snowflakes flying over the higher elevations up through parts of northern Idaho and into Washington State as the storm system starts to come on shore there. They are looking for some heavier rains to come into parts of California over the next couple of days, which is kind of good news, kind of bad news. They want some rain, they need some rain, but they don't want it too heavy where they might run into some flooding problems out in parts of the West Coast. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Here's a look at our futurecast up into the upper 70s for this afternoon with partly cloudy skies. We'll drop back down into the 60s for this evening. We'll hold into the 60s through the evening hours. And then overnight, we're looking for temperatures. I'm thinking we're going to drop at least into some upper 50s. Futurecast trying to hold us around 60 degrees. I think we're going to be a little bit cooler than that. Ignore these showers that look like they're popping up on our futurecast. We don't see any rain really in our forecast. And then tomorrow, right back up into the upper 70s, right around 80 degrees as far as afternoon highs on Thursday. So well above normal, normal being about 73 for this time of year. Coastal marine forecast for today, a south wind at 10 to 15 knots, seas from around 2 to 3 feet. Next high tide is coming up late tonight, 11:23. Our sun sets at 5:21 for today. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays. As we look at our Texas point conditions, southeasterly winds at the coast there at 9 miles an hour, and water temperatures are getting in the upper 60s, pretty close to about 70. Here's our forecast for today. We'll go partly cloudy, south winds at 5 to 10, temperatures from 77 to maybe up to about 79, maybe even 80 south of I-10. So very warm for this afternoon. I shouldn't say very warm because that's going to come into play the next few days when we get up into the 80s. And then tonight we're looking for numbers back down into the 50s, a lot of middle to lower 50s out there, or I should say middle to upper 50s, and then we could see a few 60s south of I-10 near the coast there, maybe places like Fannett, Sabine Pass, LaBelle, only dropping down to around 60, 62 degrees for tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast, and like I said, really not much of a chance of rain there. We'll jump to 80 tomorrow, and we'll see those lower 80s all the way through Tuesday of next week. So we're going to be a good, say, 5 to 8 degrees above normal as we go through the next several days. Our morning lows also well above normal. We should be in the lower 50s, and we're going to be lower 60s, it looks like, through the weekend into early next week. As I mentioned 2 days ago, we had a storm system on our computer models coming in late Saturday into Sunday. And then yesterday, that moved it from Sunday into Monday, and still looked like we had at least about a 40% coverage of some scattered rain on Monday. And now today's computer models push it all the way back to Tuesday. They weaken it even more. And right now we're just hoping for a few showers. Like I said, at one point we thought, well, hey, we'd get some measurable rainfall, help out some of the dry conditions. Now we're hoping for just a couple of showers to pop up as we head towards Tuesday. So just basically a very dry forecast and above normal temperatures over the next several days. Hey, don't forget about our weather line, 409-749-9302. Now this is not a line you call and get a forecast. This is actually a line where you can ask the meteorologist here at 12.